Alright, what's up YouTube? This is ShapesNash93. I'm coming at you with a tournament report slash deck profile so you guys can see what I ran. It didn't really differ from the build in my previous video. I don't think it changed at all, really. Maybe the side deck I think changed a bit. But this is actually the second time I'm filming this video because work decided to call me and fuck up the entire first video. But anyway, the tournament report pretty much, I played Agents, I lost to Agents, I played Dark Worlds, I beat him, I played 2 Geargias. This deck absolutely has no problem with the Geargia deck whatsoever. I 2-0'd both of them. I didn't have a problem at all. They just couldn't seem to get advantage. And a lot of the players forgot about Fortress's effect that when you target, you can nick a card out of your opponent's hand. So that really helped. But it was almost irrelevant because I almost always had like 6 cards in my hand and I always had 2 Monarchs, so it didn't really matter that much. I played Sam's, Dark Worlds. I played 2 Inzektor decks, which I had no idea still existed, even after Billy Break's article. I mean, they're still good, but it's just I could not seem to banish the Dragonfly for the life of me. Like, I don't care if they destroy my stuff or anything, but you know, they can definitely OTK with that 1 Dragonfly left. So I tried to banish it with Caius a couple times, but you know, they saved their warnings. I mean, they were both good players. So and I ended up playing Gravekeepers. And I don't know what it is, but every time I go to a regional, those Gravekeepers always seem to win. So no matter what I do, they win. So I think about side decking a couple cards for them, just for regional purposes. But I ended up 5-4. I was 5-2 going around 7, and if I won one of those matches, I would have been in for the top 48. I think we had, and I would have got my invite. But unfortunately, I couldn't pull it out just because it was the last round was Gravekeepers and Inzektors, which were really bad matchups for this deck. But let's get into the deck profile. I'll try not to make this too long for you guys. We played triple Caius. It's just triple Caius. I don't need to explain it. Triple Ryza, I don't know what it is, but I actually started not to like this card throughout the course of the day. I felt like in a couple matchups, I'd much rather have it destroyed than be sent to the top of the deck. And you know, if they have a couple back row, you always seem to hit the one with, the one that's chainable. So, anyway. 3 Lad, he won me so many games just because my opponent can't get over him. And then, I end up reviving Jinzo. He was phenomenal all day. I'm actually thinking about running a couple more. There's a couple matchups where he's not as good as I would like him to be, but especially in like the Machina matchup where I just drop Jinzo and then, you know, like end up getting over Fortress and stuff is pretty good. The only thing that sucks is he was a machine, so I tried to limit as many machines in the deck as possible to prevent me from misplaying. Then I played 1 Dark Dust. This actually won me a game against Geargias because he had I think it was either Gozen match or a rivalry of Warlords. I think it is. No, whatever one's for attributes or monsters or whatever. So, well, pretty much what happened was I didn't know if I could set it, tribute set, and then the judge came over and confirmed that I could because the card, I think it's right, goes in match, can't recognize it as an attribute or anything, so I can tribute, because I had a Treeborn coming back. So I literally just set this. He had no idea what it was, and I literally just flipped it over and said, good game. Or no, he attacked into it, and then the next turn I top deck Caius and then won from there because he had 1,000 life points. It's dirty, but it was bound to happen one time during the day. It was the only time it happened. I mean, I had total control of the game up until that point where it flipped goes in match. And it was game 2, so game 3 I was going to tear him apart anyway. Triple swap. I actually didn't open this card, like, at all. I mostly had to like duality into like the Treeborn Frog all day, so it was kind of shitty. Double Treeborn, it's the deck. So Rodent Totem, Tour Guide. This actually helped me a lot all day, and the Sangan obviously. Because I shocked a lot of players. I'd go Tour Guide Sangan, set MST. You know, they think I'm playing Dino Rabbit or something other than Monarchs. I tribute for a Caius, and they're like, what the fuck just happened? I had one guy honestly say, like, what just happened? And then off that play alone, you know, you drop Caius or you drop Ryza or something, you're +2. And especially with Ryza top decking something, it's really hard to come back from that. So, Gores, just because it's Gores. Double Trag. I beat Dark Worlds with this card alone. I opened up Double Lad, Tragodia, like, something horrible. It was horrendous hand. And I was like, wow, I'm going to get torn apart this game. He ends up just swinging with Graphite, dropped the Tragodia. Next turn, I steal his Grapple with Lad and ended up getting him down to like 400 life points. And then he ended up top decking Card Destruction and then just going off from there. I still won the match, just because mostly of my side deck, and I was able to search it off of Sangan and stuff, so, Fader, just, it was incredible all day. It got warning for game, like, maybe twice, or no, maybe once, against Inzektors, so, I mean, I can't blame him for saving it for the right time. Double C, I hated it, I really did. I hate to say it, but I hated the Max C in the deck. The only time it even relevantly helped me was versus Samurais. Because, I mean, if they go, you know, the level 3 special summon Kagamusha, and then go into, they're almost forced to go into Xian there, so I'm almost guaranteed a +2, unless they want to leave it on the board, which then is just going to get picked apart. So, yeah, I'm actually thinking about taking it out for Valor. Valor would have definitely helped me against, Inzektors. Valoring that Dragonfly would probably break the game open. Other than that, yeah, I was not happy. I actually sided this out against Girgias, because, the accelerators is inherit special summon, and if you chain Maxi to Armor's effect, they'll just stop. So, and they'll set it again. So, it's really pointless. Valor wouldn't even help me in that situation anyway. But I'd probably save it for, like, the Girgian X or something. Triple Soul Exchange. I don't understand the builds it run to, like I said. It was broken all day. It actually helped me versus Gravekeepers. I always end up tributing the Spy. Enemy Controller. I wish I would have ran 2, but I cannot find room for the second. Or 3, but for the life of me, I cannot find room for more than 2. Duality, it was good all day. It was never dead. There was a lot of plays where I soul exchanged instead, and then duality, which is really good. Or, you know, I'd have a Lad die and bring back a Sangan, and then duality, and then sack for a Monarch, so I was just searching my deck and just keeping it consistent. Double Space, it's Double Space. It wasn't really that good all day, because I saw a lot of decrees, so, yeah, I was able to tear people apart that ran decree, because they have no defense. Dark Hole, Monster Born, Heavy Storm, and then the Foolish. The Foolish is just good for turn 1 plays. I can go Tour Guide Sangan, and then, instead of wasting the Sangan search on that, I can just Foolish. Plus, it's just another way to get Treeborn. Now my side deck, I was not happy with it. I really wasn't. Against Agents, I have nothing. I don't know. I wasn't expecting them, honestly. I should have, because that Legendary Collection came out and stuff, so. Double Soul Exchange. Actually, Chaos Dragons and Heroes. Heroes tend to be a semi-bad matchup for this deck. I mean, unless they draw the nuts. And Bubble Beat, so I like the Soul Exchange. I played Chaos Dragons at my locals. I played 2 of them. I mean, I tore them apart because I dropped Christia on them, and they have no way to get over it. But the soul exchange is kind of, or the soul takers, just, I guess they were filler spots for, I should have put DD Crows in for the inzektors. End of Anubis, I cited this in against Dark Worlds. It doesn't negate Grapha's effect to special summon himself, but every other effect that they have gets killed by End of Anubis. Their snows, their brows, anything just stops because of Anubis. So I could only find room for one. It's actually good in like plant matchups and stuff, if I see plants at all. And it doesn't work against inzektors because it has to target, unfortunately. Otherwise this card would be really good. Double Christia, I did not cite it in all day. Whether I'd take it out or not, I'm debating. Just because it's so good against stuff, but the decks I played a lot of back row, so I figured it'd just be a waste of a double sack, and I'd rather have a lad in that situation to burn their resources at least. Against inzektors, it wouldn't have mattered because they can always, equip Centipede to Hornet to Centipede and then pop it and then go off. So it wasn't too good. There was really nothing that this beats. I cited against the agent matchup, but it was almost irrelevant because I didn't draw it. And then double puppet plant. The reason I like this deck, because it can take full advantage of these. You don't always have to just swing for game. If you electric bias, you can tribute for monarchs and stuff. Like I said, it was good against the Sams. This was amazing versus the machine crap that everyone plays. And this was also good. The puppet plant was also good against keepers. So, and then we got Cyber Dragon. He's good game 2 against a lot of decks, just because they'll play stupid stuff, like they'll banish your Treeborn, so you just special Cyber and then drop the Monarch anyway. They don't expect that. They expect to full use of your Treeborn. So plus it's good against Machinas. I main extra decked, if that makes sense, the Fortress. I caught somebody off guard game 1 with it, and I ended up getting deck checked just because the guy was an asshole. Double Imps against Gravekeepers. I opened one. I searched the other one with Sangan. End of story. I was able to keep total control of the game. Now this card I'm thinking about taking out, but it was just so good against the Dark World matchup. Different Dimension Ground. I actually took that idea from Serious Treeborn Frog's article, that you can side Macrocosmos and all that shit. And they can just like MST or whatever, but they MST this, you chain it, different Dimension Ground, and they're done for the turn. Or, they can activate gates, you can flip Dimension Ground after they pay the cost, and then they have to discard. So, or if they activate Darkwood Dealing, card destruction, anything, flip it and the game's over. I actually did it a little roundabout way. To summon my Light and Darkness, I had a Treeborn in the graveyard, my only Treeborn, but I had to go balls deep at that point. I flipped this during the standby phase, bring back Treeborn, Soul Exchange his Grapha, removing it, and then summoning Lad with no targets to bring back or anything. The Lad really fucked him up. Then he had to burn through Lad, and then I ended up sacking for End of Anubis and then finishing the game off. The extra deck is kind of standard, honestly. Stardust, Scrap Dragon, Chimera Tech. I kind of want to play 2, just because I play 2 Cybers, and it's like sometimes you just have to waste it, unfortunately. Gaia Dragon, just because you can enemy controller some stuff and just pull some shenanigans with this deck with an enemy controller. Black Rose, just because it's like a Monster-Born Veiler plus a Monarch is him. Excabito, I actually didn't extra deck this, because I didn't get it to after the tournament. I ended up extra decking the Chronomaly 3-star Psychic Monster instead. Just because it's almost a Zen Mains, but it's not a machine. It's nowhere as good as Zen Mains, but I just thought it'd be okay since I saw a lot of gadget or machine gadgets there, or not gadgets, machine gear, yeah. And then Bouncer, just because it's Bouncer, you need it in this deck. You can monster born stuff and go into there. Sword Breakers for the same reason. Those Spirit Reapers kind of hurt this deck surprisingly. So the Sword Breaker helps. And then Utopia Ray, just because some people, for some odd reason, think Utopia is amazing against this deck. I don't know why, but they do. So I decided to extra deck this. Plus the extra deck's not exactly the tightest thing in the world. So I just wanted enemy control somebody once and then overlay for Utopia Ray. I just think it'd be kind of funny. Zen Mains to stall. Leviair, just in case your Monarch got, your Treeborn got removed. Formula, I didn't make it all day, but the option's always there. So, plus this extra deck, like I said, is not tight. I have tons of room. Then I have Dark Mist. I made him once, and he was broken. I think he won me a game, because I just did Tragodia shenanigans, dropped Tragodia with, like, he had 1200 attack, but I ended up summoning Swap Frog, banishing for Rodent Tone, and then overlaying for this. Ended up winning me a game. Double Gotchi. I ended up making this against Inzektors just to try to stall out, but it just didn't work. I could not keep the pace with Inzektors. They're just so brutal. And here's my mat. Everyone liked it all day. It's a Monarch mat. It just looks badass because we have Kaias and Ryza. It kind of sucks because most people, they can probably tell what you're running just from your mat. Some of the time, especially when you have a custom made mat. I had a lot of oh, you're playing Monarchs, and you can lie to them, but they're gonna play like you're playing Monarchs. So, but anyway, that's my tournament report for the ARG regional. I'm going to Columbus. I don't know if Abyss Rising is gonna be out by then, but I'll probably change this build to make the Elemental Lord live, because that's just gonna be retarded good. 5 water monsters, and then you can drop them for free and pop 2 cards out of your opponent's hand is absolutely retarded. It'll add another level to this deck that I think is hasn't been seen since Substitute was unbanned or legal. That whole format was my favorite format because this deck is my favorite. I like the control aspect. A couple of the changes I would have made, in the side deck especially, I'll probably take these out. The Gemini Imps are usually enough for, Dark Worlds. Plus, I didn't see anything else that I could have been used against, because Inzektors are technically equipped spells. Hornet and Ladybug and stuff are all spells when they get sent to graveyard, same because they don't work with Dimension Fissure either. So I'd probably take these out. Anything else, I'm probably going to take these out because they were bad. I didn't need them at all. I just have Monarchs to take care of it. I might actually take out the double Christia, just because I didn't see anything that it really fucks over besides Chaos Dragons. But I have a good matchup against Chaos Dragons in itself, just because I can Soul Exchange for Light Pulsar, and Pulsar misses the timing. I've never had a problem with Chaos Dragons running this deck. That's really all Christia was for. Apart from that, everything uses too many back row. They could just compulse it or something. I'd just rather have a Light and Darkness in there. I was talking to a couple of Frog players, because there was a lot of them at the top tables, believe it or not. A lot of them probably got knocked out in the later rounds because there was Inzektors up there, and there was a couple of their bad matchups. I saw like Agent or 2 maybe. So there was a lot of I want to say bad matchups that you don't expect. Because I could easily fix this side and then just totally fuck over Inzektors. So that's probably where the 4 of the 6, maybe 2 of the 6 extra spots I have here go for. will go towards. Apart from any of this, I'm extra decking another one, or side decking another one of him, because I loved him all day. The one time I drew him, he was broken. So, I think that's about it. Yeah, but shout out to Shroppy776. He got his invite to Nats. He got 46th, I think. He just barely squeaked by. And Manny Latour was the only top 8 Geargia there. He was sitting at like table 1 all day. So that's my friend. He also topped YCS Indy. I don't know if he's got YouTube, but I'll probably try to get a couple of his deck profiles up here for you guys. So, but as of now, that is it. So, peace out, YouTube. I will also be going to Columbus, like I said. I don't know if Abyss Rising comes out before then or not, but I'll probably play like a turbo version of this deck, and I'll play a bunch of level 8s because the Elemental Lord is level 8, Lad's level 8. Probably squeeze in a BLS, maybe main deck Christia. There's a lot of possibilities for the new, just the new monster that's coming out for this deck. I might end up having to play more frogs, maybe even Lancer frogs, just because they drop 5 in their graveyard really fast. So, but other than that, peace out, YouTube.